Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Something I've been thinking about for a while now, and I just didn't know how to express it, is the obsession with removing DEI, critical race theory, black history, all these things where they're trying to take over or close down Department of Education and do these revisionist histories. Well, here's the thing. People like Trump, and when I say that, I'm talking about MAGA, Trump supporters, Republicans. I don't mean this when I say these people. I don't mean all white people. I mean just these MAGA folks, okay? They're prejudiced, and not all. Again, they're not all racist. There's a difference between racist and prejudice, but they all are very prejudiced, okay, towards black, brown, minorities, Jewish people, everything, okay. And here's the problem: they don't want you to know history, because when you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it, or it's easy to repeat. You keep trying the same dumb stuff over again that don't work. Okay? Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, like trickle-down economics. They've been trying to do that since the 80s, so that the rich keep getting richer, and it doesn't help anybody but the rich people. Okay? But if you don't know that, because they don't want you to learn your history, then you're going to let them keep telling you that this is the way to do it. This is the way to help everybody, when it doesn't. Okay? So, in all the history, the main thing why they don't want to teach about Juneteenth here in Texas, or they don't want slavery being, talked about. Oh, it was states' rights. No, it was states' rights to own slaves. Okay? It's because these Trump supporters, these MAGA folks, they like a whitewashed version of history where they are always the hero. That's why they don't want history being taught, because any other history, whether it's black history or whatever, it paints them as the villain. And they're fragile, their fragileness, their snowflake, they can't handle that. They want to always be the hero in history. Okay? When they talk about exploring the West and exploring America, no, they exploited Native Americans. They don't talk about how they gave them, blankets with smallpox on it on purpose to get them sick. They don't talk about that sort of stuff because it paints them in a bad light. All right? So think about that when they're talking about history, or when they're talking about why they don't want certain things taught, it's because it paints them in a bad light. And for MAGA folks, they can't handle that truth. They would rather have amnesia and be told fiction than to learn the truth behind it. Like that rule that they're using, that war rules or whatever, so that they can deport illegal immigrants or MS-13 gang members. That's the same rules. That's the same law that they used to inter Japanese people during World War II. But most people didn't know that. Okay? So it's not really a question of them just trying to destroy or get rid of black history. They don't want the average white person to know their own history. Because if you did, or if they did, they wouldn't be able to sit back and think, oh, we're always the heroes of the story. We're always the main character. Okay? So, anyway, I guess we could keep living Groundhog Day with guys like Trump. Guys, and I don't want to say Trump is like Hitler, but guys like Trump that just keep popping up throughout our history and screwing things up. Hopefully we'll know if people decide that they don't want that, if that's really what our country is going to stand for, or how our country is going to go moving forward. Hopefully enough people decide to go out and vote. And again, I never tell you who to vote for. I'm saying who to vote against. You can vote Republican all you want, but you better get rid of these MAGA folks, okay? That's my video. And you guys have a good afternoon.